Hi everyone, my name is Jon Svitak with the Shannon Law Group, and our firm helps people across the United States recover financially and emotionally after they experience injuries or side effects due to vaccines. And we do this by taking advantage of a government program called the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. So it's flu season, and you decide to go get your annual seasonal influenza vaccine. And you pick a shoulder, and it gets administered into your right shoulder, let's say. Afterwards, it feels a little bit sore, but you think that's typical. You've had flu shots before. You've experienced some soreness in that shoulder, but this time the soreness is maybe a little bit worse. And after 2 days, you notice that it hasn't gone away. Now you try to ignore it. You think that eventually it's going to subside. So maybe a couple of more days go by, maybe a few weeks go by, and you notice that it's getting worse. Now you can't really raise your arm or use your arm without pain. And you think to yourself, could this have been caused by the flu shot? And actually it can be. It's something called SIRVA, or shoulder injury related to vaccine administration. What happens is the administration of the vaccine is done either in the wrong spot or at the wrong angle, and it causes inflammation of the components of your shoulder joint. So the tendons, the ligaments, or the bursa of your shoulder joint become inflamed, and that manifests itself in many different ways and many different symptoms, which I will now explain. So the most telltale sign of a SIRVA injury is pain within 48 hours of the administration of the vaccine. Because SIRVA injuries are indistinguishable from any other type of shoulder inflammation, the way we determine whether it is a SIRVA case versus a non-SIRVA case is if you have pain within that 48-hour period. So that's the first symptom. Now, as this injury progresses, you're also going to experience reduced range of motion in that shoulder. And when I do my intakes and I talk to people who think they have SIRVA injuries, I hear the same things over and over. I can't put my shirt on without pain. I can't reach into the cupboard for a glass without pain. I can't raise my coffee cup to my lips without pain, or I can't reach for my seatbelt without pain. These are all signs that you're having range of motion limitations due to pain and the inflammation in your shoulder joint. Another symptom for SIRVA is decreased strength, which kind of goes hand in hand with reduced range of motion. So you might notice that when you try and lift something, a gallon of milk, or if you're trying to push yourself up off the floor or out of a chair, you're going to notice that that shoulder is a little bit weaker than it was before the vaccination. So that's just another sign or symptom that you may be experiencing a SIRVA injury. And then finally, because this is an inflammation type injury where the tendons, the ligaments, or the bursa has become inflamed, you may notice that there's some redness or swelling in the area where you got the vaccination, more so than is normal or usual after a vaccine. So these are all different signs or symptoms that you might be experiencing a SIRVA injury. Now, if you're experiencing these symptoms, you may wonder, should I go see a doctor? After all, it was just an influenza vaccination. But in my experience, it's important to go get treatment as soon as possible. Most likely, you're going to go through some kind of conservative treatment, whether it's anti-inflammatory medications, physical therapy, or cortisone shot injection. But I've seen many people have successful outcomes with that type of treatment. So it is important to go to the doctor, explain to him what happened, and see what their recommendation would be. You're probably thinking to yourself, do I have any recourse? Can I sue the person who administered the vaccine? Can I sue the pharmacy where I got the vaccine? And the answer is, you can pursue compensation, but it's through a program called the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, and that's where we work. we file petitions for people who've experienced injuries or side effects due to vaccines. And SIRVA is by far the most common one that we see. So the benefit of this program, number one, is that you don't have to prove that somebody did something wrong or that they negligently administered you the vaccination. As long as we can show that you have pain within the first 48 hours after you got the flu shot, and that your pain is due to some kind of inflammation of your shoulder joint, and that your symptoms persist for 6 months, you're eligible for compensation. There's going to be a presumption that the flu shot you got caused your SIRVA injury. And the other benefit of this program is that you don't have to pay me anything to pursue that case for you. The program pays for attorney's fees and attorney's costs. So at no point during the case, whether we're successful or unsuccessful, are you ever going to be responsible for your attorney's fees. Your compensation in this program, or the compensation that's available to you, includes any out-of-pocket medical expenses. So anything not covered by your insurance, co-pays, payments toward a deductible, those are all eligible for reimbursement in the program. If you have to miss time from work, let's say you're a laborer that does some blue-collar type work, that you use your arm a lot, or you're a painter or something like that you can't raise your arm above your head and you miss time from work, or you have to reduce your hours, we can get you compensation for the time that you missed from work. And then finally, there's pain and suffering damages as well. So they try to come up with a number or a dollar amount that compensates you for the severity of the pain that you experienced, the length of time that you were dealing with symptoms, and the type of treatment that you had to go through, whether it was physical therapy or even surgery in some cases. So your case would make its way through the program. Obviously, we'd be advocating on your behalf, and there's going to be a representative from the government that reviews your case and kind of protects the fund that's been set up. So what we're trying to do is work with them to resolve your case, come to some kind of agreement on the value of your damages. If we can't do that, there's a judge that's been assigned to your case, and they will resolve any disputes between us and the government. If we think you're entitled to more compensation than the government does, we'll let the judge decide that. And so either by settlement or by a judge's decision, that's usually how we resolve all of our cases. If you'd like to learn more about the VICP, I wrote a book about it called VICP Understanding the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. If you want a free copy of the book, all you have to do is text VICP to 312-847-2428, and we'll ship one out to you for free. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.